Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I hope you're having a great day. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about a Haitian man saying that a teacher that was caught on a Zoom meeting being anti Black should not be fired. Oh, yes, we're going to get all up into it. It's actually a video that's been trending for I guess a couple of days, although this particular incident happened on February 10th. But again, we're going to get into all aspects of it. But in the meantime, who do we have on here? Oh, I also say thank you to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other part of this side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my moderators. You are wonderful in every way, shape, or form. I love and appreciate you dearly. Albert Chill, how you doing? And nice to see all of y'all again. Again, y'all can catch me tomorrow on the African Diaspora News Channel at 11 a.m. Central Time. Again, 11 a.m. Central Time. And a lot of you, in fact, all of you, with the exception of two of you, I saw you earlier, so it's nice to see you again. Thank you for rocking with me on both shows. But Albert Chill, how you doing? Sister Shirley, what's going on? King Noble, Mike Nice in the building. Let's see, Mr. Ernest, how you doing? And Candy, long time no see. Hope that you're doing well. Emmett, what's going on? He says we need to start our own educational system. Yes, that is what we've been told we need to do. So that I guess will be a part of the conversation. And again, Ramadan Mubarak to anybody who is observing Ramadan as I am. Just a wonderful experience, I must say. As I said, I'm mad I didn't do it sooner. But that's okay. I'll be here for a lot more Ramadan, so I can always do it then. But anyway, oh, while we're waiting, just want to remind you that I will be, along with that of the African Diaspora News Channel in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, to be exact, May 23rd, which is a Saturday, for their Ohio Black Expo that they have had for many years now. Of course, we were fortunate enough to be invited last year, and we had a blast. When I tell you we had a blast, it was so fun. But the most fun thing was to meet everybody that came from all over the United States just to see us and speak to us and say hello and all of that. We hung out for a little while, having conversations with everybody. So I truly enjoyed that. So if you would like to see us in Ohio in May, please get your tickets at ohioblackexpo.com, ohioblackexpo.com. And of course, we'll be in Canada, Toronto to be exact, later on in the year. And I'll get into that at another time. I talked about it earlier, but we'll talk all about it, all the places that we are going to be. Ain't God good? We're just being invited everywhere. So I just, consider that a blessing. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So, what had happened was on February 10th, a white woman by the name of, what is her name? I'll get in just a second. Anyway, she got caught on a hot mic. Basically, like if you're on a Zoom meeting and things like that, normally they tell everybody to mute your mics, right? If you're not speaking, or so not to be a disruption. So everybody mutes their mics. And then let's keep it buck. Normally, if you've ever been in a Zoom meeting or any type of meeting that's been online, you have your mic muted, and sometimes you might even have your face blanked out. So while your mic is muted, you're having different conversations, or you might be saying something like, just hurry up already. But sometimes, sometimes people get caught on hot mics, and this is what happened during this particular Zoom meeting at Hunter College in New York City, from what I understand. Here we go. Now listen very carefully.
Another important part of CES for me is our speech program. I've been receiving speech services since first grade. I attend Mr. Goldman and two other students on Fridays. He delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Black schools that they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school.
Independent in our class.
I mean, fuck. But apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. They just
Allison Friedman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You've got to stop.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, so Allison Friedman, the lady on the bottom, let me see. I don't even see her, maybe because sometimes when there's so many people on the meeting, or maybe that's her right there that's blanked out. So I'm gonna read you everything that had happened but as you can see, the Black people in the meeting there, they're just like the sister over here, she just, and then brother Reggie Higgins, he just sitting there kind of, and the sister there at the bottom just looking like, okay, like, wow. And then of course the white folks are just stunned, like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying it. So for those of y'all that didn't hear what happened, I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just funny because the dude was like, Allison Friedman, we can absolutely hear you. So this is from that of westsiderag.com. And it says, officials of the Upper West Side School District 3 posted a video this week of a meeting earlier this month in which a racist remark was made by an adult as a child was speaking. The February 10th meeting related to schools on the Upper West Side, and the remark prompted a response from the New York City Department of Education. The comment came during a hybrid meeting concerning the possible relocation of closure of 3 Upper West Side schools, the Center School, the Riverside School for Makers and Artists, and the Community Action School. Participants in some in person at the Joan of Arc School building at 154 West 93rd Street. Many others on Zoom were parents, students, and teachers of all 3 schools. The session was hosted by the Community Education Council for the UWS School District 3, along with members of the Department of Education, including Neighborhood Superintendent Reginald Higgins. This CEC posted the video on its site on Wednesday, okay? As an 8th grade student from the Community Action School was speaking about not wanting to lose her school, the following remarks were made by a person seemingly unaware that the meeting's participants could hear them. Now, she goes on to say, they are too dumb to know they're in a bad school. It says, the voice said, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. There were a handful of words WSR was not able to make out between the first and second sentence quoted above. Now, it sounds like maybe she was trying to quote Martin Luther King, although I don't think he said it from what I understand. It is said that Carter G. Woodson said it. Nevertheless, says in the video on the Zoom call, the faces of several participants registered shock, as y'all saw there. An organizer of the meeting can be heard telling the speaker, what you're saying is absolutely hearable. You've got to stop. Immediately after that, the voice goes silent for 14 seconds. And then somebody says, I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry. A woman then said to the child, who finished her remarks with, we might not be able to have these safe spaces anymore, and we should be able to keep our school open. Allison Friedman, a professor at Hunter College, sent a statement in an email to West Side Rag at 6 p.m. on Saturday, acknowledging she was the one who made the remark at the Upper West Side Schools meeting on February 10th that have been condemned by various school officials, including members of New York City Council's City of Education. Now, so there's also a petition, being called for her to be fired. She has not been fired yet. She went on to say that basically she's taken out of context, and she basically got those talking points from somebody else. But Hunter College, they're saying they're investigating in that she is a private citizen. She made those remarks as a private citizen. So, I guess, we're going to investigate, but it doesn't sound like they're too excited about any of the things that she said, which was crazy and comical all at the same time. Comical because she got caught, which is why it is best, like, it's a teaching moment. And I don't mean it like that, but teaching moment in that we should be careful the things that we say, because you just never know. I mean, sometimes I've had I thought I put my mic on mute, and it wasn't on mute, right? And thank God I wasn't saying nothing crazy, but you just never know. Okay, let's get to this other part. So, as I was returning from the gym this morning, I was listening to the Breakfast Club, okay? And they were talking about this very subject. And so, what they did is they had people call in to kind of voice their opinion on, do they think the teacher should be fired for what she said? She got caught saying that, she admitted saying. And most people say, yes, she should be fired. It's racist, it's very anti-Black, this, that, and the other. Now, what you're about to hear is credit of the Breakfast Club, and they had a conversation with a man who identified himself as a Haitian. It's about 2 minutes long or so, give or take. But listen to what he had to say.
Hello, this is Jonathan from Miami, Florida.
What's up, brother? Talk to us. What's
Good
your
morning.
thoughts?
So I don't think she should be fired.
Ooh, wow.
This is
Let's hear it,
crazy,
John.
right? I teach at a higher institution in Miami. I'm considered a continued contract professor, otherwise known as tenured. She's a professor, like you mentioned earlier, and this is a teachable moment. This is where the lessons come, right? This is where we learn. The intersection of learning, and I'm also Haitian. There's a phrase that says "sans honte," without shame. She needs to now go to HR and do workshops on how not to be stupid and how not to be ignorant. I want to leave on a last happy note too, because my wife is a professor at FIU, and I'm so proud of her because she's doing amazing things. She just released a book called "Keep Your Money," so she should not be fined. This is a teachable moment.
Let me ask you a question though. If she's the teacher and she's showing the fact that she is a little racist, that's what it seems like to me. Do you want her teaching your child? And let me ask you this too. If this would have been any other community, the backlash would have been so crazy the lady would have ran out the door. So you don't think she should have been fired regardless? You don't mind this teacher teaching your kids?
I had a teacher that was like that teaching my child. I came at her neck. I wrote a long, nice email. But again, this is because what happens when you fire
tell the truth. Tell the truth. You Haitian. You know you blew that dust on her.
I am Haitian. Wow. I didn't throw any dust. However, because if she gets fired, she's going to work for a certain administration or Fox News. And so, there's no teachable moment. This is a teachable moment. I think that's the most. Envy, I agree. I wouldn't want her to teach my child, but this happens. It is what it is. But let's take this opportunity to make it a teachable moment.
That's
I don't
crazy.
think I agree with you.
I don't agree
respect,
with him at all.
Yeah, I respect your opinion, but I don't know if I agree with you because they don't allow teachable moments for Black people.
No.
In situations like
And
that.
it don't really seem like he care about the situation too much either. Like, I don't know.
I agree. I see what you're saying, but it should be a teachable moment because what happens the minute you fire them, they'll work somewhere else and keep doing what they're doing. There's an opportunity to learn here. Or
I guess that's my thing. You can't change a person's heart. And so, this isn't a young woman. This woman has been around for a long time. She's had a long tenure. Like, slapping her on the wrist and saying this is a teachable moment isn't going to change her feelings about Black people or Black students.
Yeah, and I don't care where she worked at after this, but the kids that she's offending ain't gonna have to look at her no more. She can be fine, go work wherever she want. That's cool, but she won't be there.
Yeah.
Isn't it a stain on her record too if she does get fired? Isn't it a stain on her record that anybody would have to hire? They would see the reason she was fired?
Teachers have unions, and those unions protect them, unfortunately. So it's
Gotcha.
It's just like police officers, right? They kill people, unfortunately, some of them, and they go get hired but in another space. So, yes, it's messed up what happens, and she should be held accountable. Again, being Haitian, there's no shame because this current administration allows people to do certain things without any shame and any kind of accountability. But I would take an opportunity and say, hey, let's reprimand you for this. You should be held accountable, and move her to another class, move her to somewhere else, but don't fire her. Make this an opportunity for a teachable moment. It's Black History Month, nonetheless, right?
Boy, you
I'm
making
so
all the
confused
foundation.
at this man, yo. I'm
God
so
bless the brother. Though. Remember,
Thank
he's
you for calling,
Haitian.
man.
Though. He's Haitian, so he's making all the foundational Black Americans so mad right now. I mean, they are in the computers right now, like that tether. Don't listen to that tether.
Jesus. All right. What's
so
the more?
it's like I was with him, but I wasn't, and then he almost got me there, but then I don't know, like that.
Nah,
he made me
wanna
a little bit more mad.
I don't want a racist teaching my child
Because
you don't know why they're grading their child. You don't know what the performance is. Is it because of who they are and not the actual performance?
So, okay, again, that was a conversation on the Breakfast Club this morning. I just happened to catch the conversation on the way home from the gym, and I was like, well, isn't that interesting? Now I would not, y'all know I don't use that word at all. That was Charlemagne saying that, and I see some of y'all on there saying that. But yeah, so I like them were kind of taken aback because, like, wait a minute now, you heard the teacher. What about that makes you want to give her a pass, or that she needs to be retrained or go to HR? And they kept saying it's a teachable moment, right? And she should have to go through workshops, I guess, maybe to kind of train her to be anti-black. I don't know. And then he kept saying, I guess in the Haitians, they have a saying, no shame. I don't know how, maybe French. I don't know if that's what he was speaking or whatever it was, but he was saying that they have a saying that no shame. So I'm not quite sure if he was saying she shouldn't be shamed or, whatever it is. Maybe we like kind of forgive type thing. And then he says, well, it is Black History Month. And it's like, that is Black History Month. I mean, we should all be on the same page. They're like, nah, she don't need to be teaching, and hopefully she's not teaching Black children, because it sounds like she's a professor and she has tenure. So that's what the college was also saying. Well, she's kind of been here a long time, so it's going to be hard to fire her. So I don't know if she's teaching Black children. I don't know why she was at the meeting, but again, it sounds like it was a whole lot of educators from all over talking about the closures of certain schools, and she just happened to be there. So again, she was pretty like mad, like, they're too dumb to know, that they're at a bad school. And I guess maybe she was taking exception to them wanting the schools to be open because maybe they're not good schools. I don't know. But again, that brother is saying, well, let's just give her a chance. And again, I'm not saying this about all Haitians or anything like that, so please do not mistake me in that. That's not where I'm going with this. But I thought, well, that's kind of odd that you would say that, right? Then automatically, when I was thinking about him saying that, I thought about something else that happened. I think it was 2018. This particular incident happened. Now, the brother that called on the Breakfast Club was Haitian, and this brother I'm about to show you is Saint Lucian.
I forgive you, and I know if you go to God and ask him, he will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. And I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you, because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not gonna say anything else. I think giving your life to Christ would be the best thing that both of them would want you to do. Again, I love you as a person, and I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please?
Yes.
Okay. So that was Brant John. He was the younger brother of Botham John, who was unalived, if you will, in his apartment in 2018 by Amber Geiger. That was the woman you saw his brother hugging and things like that. One night, I guess she was drunk, from what I understand, and she lived in the same apartment building as his brother Botham, and somehow she ended up going into his apartment by accident or whatever it was. And so she claimed that she thought it was her apartment, and she took his life because she was a police officer too. So she, took his life and all of that. As they were sitting down watching TV and eating ice cream. So that was her trial. She had been found guilty. She's still there. She's about to get out. She was sentenced to 10 years. I know not too long ago she was trying to get out early, but the parole board was like, no. So she's still in there. But that was during the sentencing phase. And that was Brent basically saying, you heard him, that he wished that she didn't have to go to jail and he loved her as a person, and she should, seek Jesus. And then somebody even gave her a Bible. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the judge. Somebody gave her a Bible, as y'all saw there. The judge, she, was wiping her tears and all that other stuff. And then we also saw during that trial a bailiff, a sister. She went and she was, fixing her hair and things like that. So there was a lot going on there for whatever reason. The people there, the black people, regardless of where they're from in that courtroom, took a lot of sympathy on Amber Geiger, although she, took Botham's life and claimed to be the victim in a sense, right? I thought it was my apartment. I just pew, pew, pew. Nobody ever really knew what happened, how she ended up in that apartment. It was just kind of weird, right? But nevertheless, she was found guilty. I should also say, in fairness, there has been cases over here where Black Americans, I think them to be Black Americans there in South Carolina, where they forgave that of Dylan Roof, who went into the church and took 9 members out of here, right, unalive them. And they had a news conference as well, and they basically said that they forgive him and that they do not wish him to have the death penalty, even though that's what he got, right? He's still alive. But they were like, we don't care what you say. He went into the church and he did the unthinkable to people who were just there during choir practice. So while you can forgive him, he's still going to go see old Sparky, right? Or whatever it is. But when I heard the gentleman on the radio, I just thought that is just so odd. And again, that came to my mind and I just don't understand it. How is it that people, and again, this is not really just the Haitians, because we got some in Black American, communities that feel the same way. Oh yes, boss, I don't see nothing wrong with what Miss Andy did, but that's something that we, no matter where we are, and it wasn't Black Americans, we really should know better, right? We should know better because we know them, especially over here, more than anybody. And we know that that's just who they are. They are that innately. And that lady and somebody said, what happened? I'm going to play it again. It's really short for those of y'all who didn't hear what she said. This is during a Zoom call during an educational meeting in New York City.
Another important part for me is our speech program. I've been receiving speech services since first grade. I attend Mr. Goldman and 2 other students on Fridays. He delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Black schools that they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school.
Independent in our class.
I mean, fuck. But apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. They're just
Allison Friedman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You've got to stop.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, so again, that was an 8-year-old Black student that was speaking about not wanting her school to be closed. And I always get her, Alyssa, whatever her name is. She basically got caught on the hot mic. So that's what happened. She basically said they're too dumb to know that they're in a bad school. And if basically they'll use the back door on their own. You won't even have to tell them to do it or something like that. So she got caught doing that. But back to what I was saying, we have to unlearn those behaviors as far as forgiving them, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I think he was talking about that, what happened in South Carolina. He says, basically, we always forgiving them, and they're not even asking for forgiveness. They're not even asking for forgiveness. But we say, well, I forgive you because, you know, the good Lord will want me to this, that, and the other. But the thing is, they wouldn't forgive you. Like I always like to bring up Michael Vick. Y'all know what happened with Michael Vick, you know, and I don't even think he was there. I think his homies or cousins or somebody was at his house, and they had a dog fighting ring or something like that. And some dogs, you know, and got some pretty brutal treatment, to say the least. And Michael Vick went and did some time and all that. Then when he got out, them people never, and even to this day, they will never let him forget what he did to those dogs. And again, I'm not excusing what he did to dogs. I'm not a pet owner, so I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody who has pets, but there were dogs. And again, it's not right what happened to those dogs at all. But they will not forgive him. If you go out into the middle of the public square right now and say, Michael Vick, somebody white gonna be mad. Oh, he the same thing that he should die. They're gonna be mad. And when he got, you know, NFL opportunities and things like that, they were always very vocal about it. Oh no, you remember what he did to those dogs again? He wasn't there. Sounds like he was, you know, I don't know how he just got in trouble for, okay? But every time they mention his name, whether he was doing this, that, the other, oh, he don't work. They never let anybody, and they won't let anybody forget. But us, whether we're in St. Lucia, whether we're Haitian American, whether we're Black American, wherever, somehow we just got this, our heart just bleeds so much. I know you did the most worst, horrible, just thing on the planet to my loved one or to somebody that looks like me. But you know what? I'm going to forgive you because it's what the Lord would want me to do. And they're like, yeah, sure, thank you. You know, and I'm sure Amber was all in, right, when she was giving him a hug, because she maybe thought that was going to sway. I don't know. I don't know if she's been sentenced at the time or not, but, you know, she probably should have got a harsher sentence, but she only got 10 years. And I say only because she took a man's life. But again, we have to unlearn that. Because in a sense, that's kind of why we are stuck. We don't believe, and I'm not saying all of them are like that, but we don't believe them when they show us who they are. Why on earth should that woman who got caught on that hot mic have an opportunity to be in the classroom with anybody? And even a Haitian gentleman was like, well, no, I wouldn't want her in my classroom. But then if you wouldn't want her in the classroom with your child, well, why would you want her in the classroom with anybody's child? Shouldn't you want for someone else's child what you would want for yours? And he said he's an educator and his wife is an educator, but yeah, you talking about she should be retrained and all this other stuff. But like DJ Envy and I think Charlemagne has said too, well, had it been the other way around, you think they would give her a chance? Or basically if she said that about the Asian community, the Jewish community, anybody else, this is what they said. Do you think that she would get a chance? Would she have to go through retraining and all of that? Well, we know the answer to that. But somehow the Black community is the only community that could be disrespected. And everybody's like, well, and of course, y'all might have saw the clip that came from the BAFTA Awards or some British awards overseas. They said it's like the Oscars overseas in Britain, where Michael B. Jordan and Delroy, his last name is going to escape me, just that fast. But anyway, veteran actor, they were giving away an award or something. And somebody who had Tourette syndrome, who I guess had a movie made about him, he was sitting up in the audience. And as Michael B. Jordan was speaking, he hollered the N-word. And they said, Lindo, thank you, first class citizen. I knew that's what it was, but I just skipped my mind. He said the N-word, you know, and Michael B. Jordan and Delroy were like, okay, and they kept on going. But from what they said too, is that they had a chance to edit the video or the whole awards because it was pre-taped and they didn't edit it. They let it ride. but they edited out some other things, like when somebody was saying free Palestine or something like that. They edited that out. But that word they finally did after all the backlash. But as somebody else made a good point, is if he said, something negative or blurted some slur out about any other group, they wouldn't have had that. But for whatever reason, the Black folks, it's okay to be disrespectful too. So that also has to come from us, that we don't co-sign that type of stuff. We don't think it's okay, because the real truth is, when our people do something, we make sure to kick their tailbone in. Let's keep it real. When our people do something, we kick their tailbone in. And I'm not saying they shouldn't or shouldn't be taken to task, but whether it's Diddy or Kelly, whoever it is, Chrisette Michelle, right? Y'all remember the first time she went and sung at Trump's inauguration, and people just canceled her indefinitely, and her career ain't never been the same, So I'm just bringing up a couple examples. Not that I agree with what they did. I'm just bringing about it as an example. We in the Black community, we sure know how to stick it to our own people. But when it comes to them people, it's like, well, what would Jesus do? Hallelujah. Wouldn't Jesus tell us to forgive and forget? It's like, well, do they worship the same Jesus we worship? I'm just saying in general, do they worship the same Jesus? Because why they ain't getting that message from Jesus, but we getting that message from Jesus? I'll see what you guys have to say. Kiji, what's going on with you? Going all the way back to where I left off. Let's see. Oh, yes, Albert, I'll make you a mod. I thought I made you a moderator. I'll make you a moderator. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Okay, so where did we leave off? And I left off here. So Albie says, I'll be there like young or Michael Jackson. Okay, I cannot wait to see and meet you there and see bus. That's what they call it. Columbus, Ohio, May 23rd at the Ohio Black Expo. Laura, how you doing? Ramadan Kareem to you as well. I hope you're having a great Ramadan, as I am. I'm a little hungry though. But that's okay. I'm gonna eat a little bit. Mad Dog, how you doing? Donnie, what's going on with you? And thank you, Brother Mike, for reminding people there's ways to donate and help the channel. Love and appreciate you for that. Ricky Young, what's going on with you? Say disgusting. Mad Dog, you say sickening. It is. What she said is absolutely. Alicia, what's going on with you? How you doing? Sister Shirley says, was anyone really surprised? This is how most of them feel, not surprised at all. Well, you saw the Black folks there. They didn't even, like the white people were, but the Black people they just stayed the way they were. Cause like what? They were horrified. Like, you ain't supposed to let them know we feel like that. Monet, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Brother JJ, what's going on with you? Gold Crown, how you doing? Says I tapped in. I'm late. I'm on rewind getting my paperwork together. Okay. Well, hopefully you're caught up by now. MC Fact, what's going on with you? I think it was you that said, what happened? So I hope you saw it. Renz, did I say hi to you? If not, hello. Let's see. First class citizen, what's going on with you? And Albert, so you thought the brother was trolling on the Breakfast Club? No, he wasn't trolling. Sounds like he was really serious, right? Miss Stewart, what's going on? She says boycott her class. Well, people can boycott a class. I don't even know what the school is about or whatever, but it's a college. But the college sounds like they're sticking by her because she was doing that as a private citizen. Okay, so does she separate the private thoughts from the teacher thought when she's in the classroom? And some people I even saw say that, well, she was telling the truth. And I seen some Black people say she was telling the truth. They're too stupid or too dumb to know that they're in a bad school. Okay, so I don't know. Ren says he's perhaps married to someone like her. It's the same thing my daughter said. Said maybe he has a white wife. So could be. I don't know. First class citizen, he says, and non-Black behavior, sticking up for this nonsense. Yeah, well, I'm glad that the Breakfast Club, because, they sometimes be on other things. But I'm glad that they called him to the carpet and was like, nah, and they already do. They already knew, as they said, the FBA community was gonna be on it, right? Because I think everybody was thinking it like, huh? And then when he said, he was Haitian, then it was like, oh, okay, if you have a different experience somewhere else. Now, I don't know what the Haitian experience is with white folks in Haiti. It shouldn't be that good, especially what they went and did to help destabilize Haiti to some degree, especially them Clintons. So yeah, Alicia said he is willing to do anything not to be sent back to the landfill. What he calls his homeland. Well, again, the landfill was helped to be that a lot by those in the U.S. But the other thing too is I thought about it when Biden was in office and the Haitians came over here for asylum and all that. Remember on the Texas border when it came over, and then the policemen on a horse, were looking kind of slave masterish, right? The patty rollers type thing. They had the whips and things like that. I think everybody was outraged. I was outraged. I was like, what? That's how they doing it? And I would imagine it was a rude awakening to them, the Haitians, right? Because even Biden was like, oh, we don't have the money. We can't keep them here. We can't afford to keep them. So they sent them back. So even with that, it's like, wow, Albie Chill says, see, this is why we call his type and latch on since I can't say the other word. Well, I appreciate that. MC Fact says anyone who says teachable moment, look at them sideways. You heard them say that. But you said that before he even said that. I was watching the comments. He being Charlemagne. Quan, how you doing? Says greetings upon this day, FBA Freeman family. Didn't receive notifications, but new to check. Hope you're feeling good. I am feeling good. No worries. She says my father was about the Abrahamic faith. We need updates on Savali craft. Yeah, we do, because I don't even know what that is, and maybe I should. I don't know. Yeah, as far as y'all not getting notifications, I noticed that especially with my channel, for some reason, the last week or so, the views have been really low. So I don't know. I just think maybe it's an algorithm thing or whatever. But nevertheless, we're here, right? We're here. Anyway, Mab, what's going on? She says Black immigrants subject their children to those racist environments all the time to be in the proximity of whiteness. The children are insecure and traumatized. Yeah, and it's like that too. So to a degree here, you hear a lot of Black Americans say, oh, well, my child is going to a white school because the white school is better. I would have them go to the ghetto school with the Black kids. They going to, so when they think they're going to a white school, it's so much better. The education is better. But it's like, is it better that your child is reminded that they're not wanted there every day just so you can have bragging rights? Oh, my daughter, they go to the school of mayonnaise. Yes, they have mayonnaise in different flavors over there, and she's going there. I probably need to eat. So yeah, we have that behavior over here as well. Lance, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So the teachable moment is putting that trick on the unemployment line. Yeah, well, her people fighting for her. JJ says Haitian sounds a lot like Emmanuel Acho. Isn't he Nigerian from what I understand? Emmanuel Acho. Yeah, Emmanuel Acho, he used to say some sideways things, but he got kind of put all the way together when he was talking greasy about, I think it was Angel Reese. I don't follow him, but I know everybody was kind of up in arms. He had said, what did he say? She was crying about something. I think she was being bullied or something. And he was like, basically, suck it up. Why are you crying type of thing. And they ate his lunch, breakfast, dinner for like a week. So I don't know. Mad Dog says that's bullshit. Yes, indeed. Mike says stay sucker free. King Nova says put him in the same boat as Brant John. So I knew I was going to bring that up before I did, huh? First Class Citizen said this is a classic example of what we're talking about by defending the villain instead of the victim. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. And I was wondering too when I saw Bolton's brother get up there. Would Bolton really feel that way? Like, yeah, it's okay. And forgive her because she took my life. I'm good with that. It's okay. I've gone on to glory, even though I wanted to be eating ice cream on my couch after a long day work. It's okay. We forget. Because had she got not found guilty, she would have stuck up both of her fingers like, I'm free, sucker. So yeah. Jerron, how you doing? Says our white folks won't care what she did or said towards black people. Nope. They won't care, but we should care, right? 48 TCL, what's going on? She said he thinks she's gonna save him. Yeah, no, Bill, what's going on with you? How you doing? Says that's why they not like us, period. First class citizen say he's a lackey land. What? Audrey, how you doing? You know what? I know you be trolling in reverse type of thing, but I'll read your comments because some of that I agree with. I know you're being facetious, but that's okay. It says tonight will be historic. It says this is the first State of the Union delivered by someone who was found guilty of felonies and was found liable for abuse, that type of abuse. Conservatives have been waiting our entire lives for this. Now, Audrey is obviously not a conservative. She's being facetious, right? She's harring us or whatever, pulling our leg. We had as a State of the Union by that of Trump. This year's first State of the Union this year. And it's highly anticipated, although a lot of Democrats say that they're not going, but some are. Maxine Waters says he doesn't deserve my presence. The audacity of him to think that I should grace him with my presence. So Maxine is not going to be there, but I'm thinking like you part of Congress, you should go, whether you like it or not. Be like Al Green to stand up and say, raise your cane and then, get arrested or whatever it is. But I think you should go. I'm going to watch. It's probably going to be more entertaining more than anything. He's going to say, this is the hottest country in the world. It's the hottest country. Gas is down and groceries are down and, people are making lots of money. I could have just, you could probably not even watch it. And I guarantee you that's going to be the gist. So that's supposed to be tonight. Abby Chill says all cold behavior like that is why we have to delineate. Yeah, we need to delineate, of course, because we need to get our things together. But I hear what you're saying. Quan says a great story subject to discuss, Demetra, about our FBA founder, veterans Savali Craft and Sylvester Craft on one of your next broadcasts in regards to our brethren, Donovan, and bless you all. Okay, I have to look into that. Maybe Donovan, I think you were trying to tell us about it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, but I have to look into it. So let me catch up because I see I'm terribly behind. King Obi says I wouldn't want a brother like that. Talking about Brant. Okay. FM, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Long time to see. 365 not 28 admin, what's going on with you? Chi-Town boy says, how you doing? Says I'm over black people being saints. No, I mean we're not saints, but we're not the worst people either. Little bro, how you doing? He says, oh my God. Let's see who else says something. First class citizen says, oh, I remember this sad young non-black American forgiving the sinister Becky for unaliving his relative. Just pitiful. Yeah, it was his brother who was minding his business. He probably didn't even know what hit him at all. Had no earthly idea as to what even happened to him, So yeah, Emmett says they gave her tenure and they knew she was racist. Yeah, most schools know they got some racist people working there. That's why I say when you send your kids to these schools, you should be very present. Don't be one of those parents you just drop them off on the curb and I'll pick you up later. Nah, go drop in. See what they teachers is talking about, right? Hey, how y'all doing? And then when your child tells you something that kind of makes you think, then go check up on it. That's the type of parent I was. I didn't send my daughter to the public food system and just was asleep at the wheel. Nah, all her teachers knew me. Some of them knew me well, and some of them wish they didn't know me. Right? Because there's a lot of them there. And I always tell people too, I don't care if people get mad. If your child has a woman teacher, you better make sure that you up in there all day long, making sure, because what they have learned to do, they've been taught to do, is subjugate your black child, especially if he's a boy. I know somebody right now who's got a major lawsuit going on with a school district because their child endured racism from their teacher for a whole year. Didn't really know about it until they found out about it. major lawsuit. And guess what? The teacher admitted that they were doing that to their child and thought, I don't see the problem. So yeah, gots to know who's teaching your children. MC Fact says embarrassing, and yes, there's a little bit of tap dancing going on there. Child of God, yeah, that was his brother. That was his Botham John's younger brother. You know, who wanted to preach the gospel to somebody who just took his brother's life, you know, before the trial. But in a sense, Amber, that's the lady who did it, the officer, she was trying to blame him. So she wasn't remorseful. She was trying to blame the brother. Literally, his brother was sitting on the couch, got off work and eating ice cream as he was watching TV on his couch. But she kept on trying to say, oh, I didn't know, and he, and this, that, and the other. They were trying to pin it on the brother that had no idea what happened, what even hit him at all. So yeah. Yeah, Mike, them tears, huh? Renzi says, did they exchange phone calls, letters, or does he visit her? He probably does. I would not doubt it at all. King Noble says Amber Geiger and her boyfriend Pedro, were sending racist texts to each other about black people. So yeah, but the brother there, yeah, they found out a lot of stuff about her, but the brother wants to forgive her and he loves her and wants to give her he begged them to let them give her a hug. Please, can I hug her? Now, as I was watching this and doing the research for this, my daughter was like, in a sense, turn it off. She was just so creeped out by it. She's like, oh my God. She couldn't stand to listen to it. Edward, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Diane, how you doing? He says, some of us are too brainwashed by religion for me. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, but you ain't lying. First Class Citizen says that was just classic Stockholm syndrome. A lot of these Democratic puppets have. They do. We feel like we're going to be better people if we forgive them, no matter what they do. But again, and I know Brant John is from St. Lucia, so I don't know what their experience is again with them folks. But over here, we were taught that on the plantation, no matter what they do to you, you must forgive them. If you want to go to heaven and be washed white as snow, you have to let them beat you, take things from your wives and your children that they're not trying to give you, and starve you, work you, damn near till you gone to see Jesus. You have to forgive them. Listen, white people will always be better than you. Therefore, you must forgive them no matter what they do. And I wasn't even trying to rhyme, but I guess. My aunt, how you doing? Says black people are most forgiving of other races. Again, we are taught to do that. It's conditioning. And we just pass those that conditioning down. You got to forgive them. Mad Dog says we forgive the enemy for violence, crimes against us, but we hate on each other for spilled milk. Come on now. You ain't lying. 48 TCO says they were smashing. What? They were smashing. She was supposed to come over. That's why his door was unlocked. If that's not the case, why is his door unlocked that night? He was waiting for someone. Well, maybe he's waiting for somebody, but if he was waiting for her, why was she? You know what I mean? So that's why I don't buy that. But they said she was drunk too, so I don't know. Who in the world is calling me? I don't know. Quan says, at least we forget what the Palestine protester did to our mother, Emmanuel AME Church, while we were grieving. Thus, we have no friends besides ourselves. Thus, separation time is upon us. To these other people, yeah, I remember that. I do remember. Man, he says, my forgiveness is between me and the Lord. Come on now. D-Mac, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Corey, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. Covenant convo with Shay. How you doing? He says, the Bible never told us to forgive people. It says, if your brother trespass, you rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him. Them folks are not our brother and sister first. And second, they'll never repent. No. Why should they? They think they're superior to us. Do you ask for forgiveness for somebody who's inferior? And I'm not saying that, but that's how they think about us, right? Michael, how you doing? Nice to see you. Says crazy how so many of us are so quick as hell to forgive the hell out of somebody white who can do the worst to us, but haven't forgiven one of our for eating eating the last cookie 30 years ago, right? And don't let it be the big piece of chicken. Ooh, you ain't gonna never be forgiven. Absolutely. Okay. Jerome says Vic owned the property but wasn't there during the dog fights. They claimed he came and helped bury one. The people who had the dog fighting walked by saying Vic knew that they were doing it. Yeah, so that's what I remember. He wasn't there, but they threw him under the bus, which you gotta be mindful of the company you keep, right? Kevin, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me skip down because I didn't realize how far behind I am. So please forgive me. Maria, what's going on? She says the right people wasn't in there. Okay. Nito Swain, how you doing? Salute to you as well. One Unique Monique, what's going on with you? Says the college should fire her. Says she's opening them up to a lawsuit. Well, no, they said, she's tenure. She got tenure. She's safe. And she's a private citizen. Thank you, Kiji, for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alicia, thank you so much. Oh, I see that who that was calling. It was a telemarketer. Because I could see messages come across my screen here as well from my phone. But Alicia, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love and appreciate you for that. Every bit helps. Thank you. Thank you. So let's see. Yvette, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. You also say these migrants are jealous of us. Point blank, we're citizens of a country they want to be in. It's all jealousy. Some of it might be jealousy or whatever it is, but I just pointed out the Haitian individual because I heard it on the radio, but then I thought about all the instances of us, even here and all over, that forgive them people. No matter what they do, they can do the worst things to us, and we find it in our heart to forgive. But like y'all have said, we don't forgive each other. Never will. Some of us go to the grave or see somebody go to the grave and still won't forgive them. I'm not going to their funeral. I remember what they said about me in 3rd grade. How dare them, man, forget them. You know, all of that. It's like, come on, man. Kevin, you say, can you imagine if in this Zoom chat had it been, yes, that's what they said about anybody else, it would have been outraged, but the Black Americans, not so much, right? Bakari, how you doing? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And nice to see you again. I saw you earlier as well. And African Native, did I say hi to you? Not hello. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see. El Buddha, what's going on with you? Says if the roles were reversed and it was Black American or a Black person saying it to white people, the Haitian person would want them fired. Yeah, that's how it is. You know, whether they're Haitian or Black American or whatever, we kind of, well, they should be fired. Sometimes when I'm in comment section and I see Black folks doing something, and of course, you know, them people, oh yeah, they're just the usual suspects. And then I also see some Black folks, yeah, you're right. It's no wonder why they hate us. Then we're mad because they hate us. I see why they hate us. It's like, you think they hate us because one of us stuck up a grocery store or a gas station. You got a lot of learning to do. They didn't like us when they put us on those plantations. So their dislike for us didn't start because Fox News or somebody put up a video of us acting like a donkey somewhere, you know. Bakari says, trust issues. I don't trust nobody. Sellouts and them folks. And the small hats, we have no allies. Unfortunately, that is true. Beverly White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Shan, what's going on with you? Says, hello. I thought I missed your show. I'm so sorry. Get you come on late. Yeah, 5 o'clock. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm here, but that's fine. YouTube sometimes be tripping, but it's okay. Hopefully they'll stop tripping eventually. Boss player, what's going on with you? He says, if anything were to happen to me, y'all better act a fool like the car. Okay, woo, like the cartel in Mexico. No forgiveness, man. When they took that man up out of here with the help of the United States, the cartel was like, oh, that's what we doing? Is that what we doing? They shut it down. I haven't been following. I don't know if it's still, you know, up and stuck there. It was in a part of Vallarta. I saw somebody I know, they were on vacation there. It didn't seem like anything was going on and they were worried. But yeah, they set it off like Queen Latifah and them. Absolutely. But no, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. It says, what do you think about State of the Union, Dems watching. I don't know. A lot of them said they're not going to watch. Some of them said they would watch. Of course, the State of the Union with President Trump tonight. I forget what time it's coming on, but in the next couple hours, I guess, where he's going to bloviate for an hour or so about how hot the country is. It's the hottest country. And, they're going to make America great again and things like that, So some Democrats said they're going to boycott. I don't know. I'd have more respect for you if you go and gave him the middle finger or something. Flipped him off or do like they did Barack Obama. You lie. Remember that white man? I can't remember his name. He was a congressman or senator. Stood up there as Barack was giving his State of the Union, whatever it was. You lie. You lie. Face turned all red. Veins was about to explode. And they wanted him to be censored. And they were like, well, we don't see the problem with him calling the, black president a liar. And so from that point, people just was acting a donkey all the time. So yeah, at least if they were to go do that, but just not to go, I guess. Ricky Jakes, how you doing? Says FBA faux live. Candy, it says the disrespect. They disrespect us because we allow it, but I don't tolerate disrespect from nobody. Don't care who it is, man, woman, beast, or child. You see, you like me. I don't tolerate disrespect either. A lot of times I have to do a lot of self-talk when if I'm being disrespected. I have to say to myself, what is it going to cost me to, say or do what I want to do when people are disrespectful? A lot of times I just shake my head. Sometimes I say, do not disrespect me. Flat out, do not disrespect me. I'm not disrespecting you. Do not disrespect me. Yesterday, my daughter and I, yes, Joe Wilson. Thank you, Kevin. Where is Joe Wilson? That's the one that called Barack a liar. Yesterday, my daughter and I were driving, and we weren't doing anything wrong. Honestly, we weren't. So we were just driving in our lane, and this old Asian man, he was in his car. He had a cigarette like this. And when he pulled out of the parking lot, instead of going to the, lane closer to the curb, like the right lane, he pulls out of the parking lot and he swerves into our lane. He swerves into our lane. He stays there for a couple seconds and then he gets back into the right lane. And so my daughter, she, just lightly bump up, like, man, what you doing, right? And so when we passed her, he's he's honking his horn, right? So me and my daughter just cracking up because he's really this old little Asian man that's cigarette driving. So we didn't think nothing of it. So we get at the light or whatever. So then the man was behind us. So he's past us and he's mad at us. So he passed us in there. We couldn't do nothing but laugh because, I don't know, in a sense, I just thought it was cute. But I'm like, you know what, though? There's some people who would have really been mad at him. Oh, yeah. It was just funny to me. And I laughed, and I was glad that I could laugh about it because it wasn't that serious. Okay, man, clearly you can't drive. Maybe your children need to come see about you and say, hey, it's time, granddaddy. No more driving for you, because he was, and he had like a, I don't know, 1998 Oldsmobile or something like that. But I thought it was funny or whatever. But I'm saying that to say everything doesn't warrant, because it was disrespectful what he did, right? But everything doesn't warrant an adverse reaction or, to meet him where he was. We were just honking to say, hey, bro, or sir, you in two lanes right now. But anyway, hopefully he made it home safe. Albert Chill says, same. It's especially hard for me because I work in corporate America. Yeah, them people be acting funky. I used to work in corporate America too. I had a boss when I worked at Chase. Before I get out of here, I tell y'all my story. I told y'all once before, but I'm gonna tell you again. El, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says, okay, it comes on at 9 today. So that's Eastern time, 9, so like 8 my time. 48 TCO says, Houston drivers are the worst. You ain't lying. My God. That's part of the reason why I don't be outside like that, because Houston, I'm from Southern California where we have traffic all day, every day. I don't care if it's a holiday. We got traffic. But the people here, Houston drivers is, I don't know if they're from Mars or like they not from this world. Driving fast and crazy. One time my daughter and I, it was not that long ago, we're on the freeway and there's some traffic. You know, we're going along as everybody else was. And this car from behind, mind you, it's traffic, he past us. And then he cut the car like in front of us or a couple cars in front of us off because he's going too fast. I don't know if his brakes went out, he couldn't stop. So he cuts in front of the car and then bam, he hits the wall, right? You know, that wall ain't gonna budge. And then he slides all the way back across the freeway. And I think he hit like 2 cars, nothing major, but he flips, right? And then he lands on the thing, but I don't know if he was all right. But I was like it could have been so much worse. Like, why are you going that fast? It's traffic. We're going maybe 15 miles an hour, 20 maybe, right? So yeah, Houston drivers, boy, and Houston has the highest auto insurance, or one of the highest auto insurance rates in the nation. As I said, in California, I wouldn't be paying what I'm paying. I got 2 cars on my insurance. Both of the cars are paid off, so I have liability, uninsured motorists on both cars. I pay like $240 a month for both cars. Paid off. Mine is a 2013. My daughter's, I think, is a 2015. And the insurance is through the roof. This is not full coverage because the cars, you know. Anyway, so back to my story about when average logical thinker, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Back to me working at Chase. We'll see what time it is. Oh, it ain't time for me to eat yet, so I'll be on here with y'all for a couple more minutes. When I was working at Chase, as a personal banker, those of y'all know my story. I used to be a personal banker. I have some experience, well, quite a few years experience in the financial services industry. So I was working at Chase as a personal banker, and I had this bank manager. I had a few bank managers. With the first branch I worked at, it was a black manager and another white lady manager, 2 women. They could not stand me. The sister girl, she was kikiing with me, but then she lied on me. She had lied on me. Now, mind you, I was only there for a couple months. I was still in training, but she lied on me, said I wasn't doing A, B, C, and D. And then the white lady at that particular same branch, she got mad at me. Okay. She looked like, I told y'all, she looked like Big Bird, just tall, lanky white woman. You know, like Big Bird. So anyway, I'm a new banker there, cute, young, new bank. Let me stop. I was a new banker there. Okay. So I'm sitting at my desk working. And this brother, he was talking at the front desk to some of the other people there, employees. And as I looked over there, you see, I'm stupid, huh? So as I look over there to see what they talking about, he says, "Oh, well, who is that?" So he's talking about me. So my friend, she was like, "Oh, that's, Demetra, she's new, this, that, and the other." He says, "Well, y'all not going to introduce me to her?" So I get up. "Hey, how you doing?" I forget the man's name. I didn't care. So he's shooting the breeze. "Well, I have to come in here and say hi to you. Don't be a stranger." Okay, whatever. So he leaves. So Big Bird, Brother Dom, my triple OG moderator, you remember the story. So he leaves. Big Bird, she comes all the way across from the other side of the bank where we're still kind of conjugating and talking. She goes, "Oh, no, he's still standing there. He didn't leave yet. So he's still standing there at this moment. "Well, you didn't come say hi to me." He says, "I didn't want to say hi to you." He's kind of tongue in cheek with it. So I'm like, oh, what they got going on? So he leaves. So then she leans her funny looking self on the desk. "Well, we were going to try to, have a relationship, but, he had some things going on. And, then I ended up with, I forget her husband's name, Brad, and but he's got a lot of money, and he ain't supposed to be telling me this man business like that. Hey, one who cares how you doing? He ain't supposed to be telling me this man's business. He's got a lot of money, but he had a thing for me. And one time he really sick, and I told him I'd offer to take care of him." I'm like, "Lady, I don't want this man." Okay, he just said hello. Nevertheless, I wasn't there long because they were some haters. It was a Latino chick there too. She didn't like my shoes I was wearing. I had some nice little snazzy shoes on one day, and she wasn't even my boss. She was a teller. Okay, I'm a personal banker. I got a little bit more clout, right? So she says, well, you're not supposed to wear them shoes. Now, it ain't my fault that you shaped like Penguin from Batman, Danny DeVito style, and you can't wear them, right? Ain't my fault. So anyway, I'm like, man, whatever. So I didn't wear the shoes. So a couple months later, I get transferred to San Bernardino, okay? D Street, if you know, you know. So I get there. I kid you not, my first day there was a a black woman. She is in the middle of the lobby, and she's talking to this other white lady who became a thorn in my side. Okay, so I get there, and the black lady says, "You a B. That's why you this that. No, you ain't nothing but a B. You a racist. You a B." I was like, "Damn, what they got going on here? What they got going on?" So anyway, the lady leaves or whatever. So as I'm there, and I worked at Chase less than a year. So the whole time I'm there, this white lady did not like me because the customers love me, right? I want to see her. I want to talk to her. Okay. So she would talk crazy to me. And I needed my job, so I really couldn't just snap back. So one day I needed her attention. She was in the face of a black man, another personal banker. He's on the high end of the banking industry. So she's talking to him, and she's funny looking too all up in his face. So he could see me. She couldn't. So then he says, "Oh, D wants to speak to you." And she goes, "You go and work the lobby right now. Go work the lobby." Woo! When I tell you, you know how when the Incredible Hulk, when he busts out of his shirt, that's what I want to do, because we have to wear black suits. And to this day, I will not wear a black suit because of my experience at Chase. I will not wear a black suit. I don't care if I have to wear a black suit. If Jesus himself said, "Listen, you need to wear a black suit," I'm like, "Nah, can it be navy blue?" Anyway, so I want to bust out of the suit because I was so mad, right? But I had to channel my inner Bill Bixby, right? The thing before the Hulk. And I said, "Well, I have a customer who wants to close an account because he said that you wouldn't allow him to get a temporary debit card while he waits for his permanent one to come in." Oh, okay. Boy, I tell you. But it wasn't too long. And it was a Filipino chick there too. That was her. They was like Batman and Robin, the funny looking version of it. They be tag teaming me left and right, just jealous. Oh, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? Now, mind you, my numbers were good. My sales was good. I didn't have any problems at all. And they fired me. Both of them birds brought me into the office. And she goes, the white lady, well, this is a termination conversation. And so I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, "What?" Yeah, Lou Ferrigno, yeah. But Bill Bixby was his name on the show before he turned into the Hulk. So she has this piece of paper. Well, this is a termination conversation because, now mind you, about an hour or so ago, she forced this customer to get a credit card, and he told me 400 times he did not want the credit card, just open up the account. So she went, and then she twisted his arm to get the account. And so when he left, he's like, "She's a B." I said, "I know, right?" So anyway, she fires me, and she goes, "Well, I just feel like you just need to read this to you." I said, "You ain't finna subjugate me." I said, "You firing me, right?" She said, "Yeah." Her and the Filipino lady, they just want me to sit there like, "Okay, well, just go ahead and read it." "Oh, I did. Oh, that's how you feel. Well, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "No, you don't need to read it to me." I snatched my name tag off and put it on the desk. And I said, "I need to go get my purse." Now, mind you, the lobby was really long for some reason. It was just one door all the way to the next. So they walking behind me to go get my purse at the break room. And all the other bankers, they was going to go to the regional manager on these managers anyway, but whatever. So they said, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh, she fired me. They fired me all the way. They fired me." They're like, "What?" So I get into the break room, and my friend Kevin, we went to the same training class together. He's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh, they firing me." He said, "What?" But they all knew that they were always, on my bumper, and I was at will, so I couldn't really do anything about it. But yeah, I know about disrespect, and that was really kind of the last job. I've had like some small ones here and there, but that's the real last job I've ever had. Needless to say, they had to pay me the maximum unemployment. They had to. I tell the story all the time. Had to pay me the maximum because when the lady called me, because I was getting my money, right? She called me. She says, "You didn't steal no money or nothing." No, right? I didn't do anything. She says, "You cannot tell me why they fired you." I said, "Well, no." She said that my number. She couldn't say it wasn't my credit card numbers were bad. My credit card, sales, like getting people. I was good. I was almost at the top of the list. I was good, so I didn't do anything. She goes, "If I call them and they tell me they can't tell me why they fired you, I'm gonna make them pay. They have to get a higher tax, be taxed higher because you can't just fire people even though I'm at will. You need to have a good reason to do it. They'll be fined, and I'm gonna make sure that you get the maximum unemployment." And I did, and I lived pretty all okay, right? I wasn't making as much as I was making as a banker, but I lived all right for like a year and a half. I didn't go to work. I sure didn't. I did not go to work at all. But I'm saying that to say, yeah, that was pretty hard to be disrespected and take it. But sometimes when we own these jobs and things like that, they know the power they have over us in school and things like that, and they talk to us any and every kind of way, which is why it's important for us to get our own businesses so that we can hire our own people and be nice. Because I know there's a lot of us that do some funky things to each other too. I'm the boss. You're gonna do it. I say no, and all this other stuff. Be nice, because like I said, I worked for some salty sisters before, and it's like, I know this is why doves cry. Because why are you this damn mean? Anyway, and that's in the church too. That's a whole different story. But let me see what time it is. It's time for me to eat. Woo-hoo! Listen, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Y'all join me tomorrow on the African Diaspora News channel at 11 a.m. Central Time. Yes, African Native says money cannot be replaced. Cannot replace pride. You ain't lying. Peace.